Yash, Dhruv, Ricky, how you guys doing? Let's get right into it. It's a Friday. No one wants to be around here. It's meditation time. What's up, Shivam? How you doing? Great OPEX day at MSL. I promise you, if you guys weren't in MSL, a lot of you would be destroyed today. I'm looking at Twitter, and a lot of people got destroyed today. Very wild moves all day. We had big sell-off. I told you guys yesterday on post market should be a rally, like a big rip at some point in the day. We got that, but we got it late. So we got it around 1 o'clock starting. Usually it starts after 2 o'clock, and I believe that's the reason we pulled back at the end of the day. What's up, Andrew? How you doing? And let's just go into SPY here. So we had a couple key levels on SPY here. We had 435.34, which was Monday's low, which is Valentine's Day low. That was the low of the week so far. And we broke through it on the first try. That's always a red flag. You see how we came down, we flagged above it and broke it? That's a red flag for bulls. What's up, Gravinder? How you doing, other Andrew? And since we just bear flagged and just ripped right through it, that's a big red flag for bulls. That tells bears that they're right. We bounced back, tested that level, came down to the next level down here around 432.60. Bounced that a little bit, almost got back to Monday's low, and then just dumped again, lost that level, and then complete rally. So what this is, guys, if you look even in the volume, you can tell this is not people buying. This is people covering their puts. People are happy with their profits. They take off their puts. What's up, Ginger? How you doing? Or Bookie. They lost the lows, people took off their puts, and once they start taking off their puts, it pushes upside. The market makers have to buy the underlying stock. That's a big, way more complicated discussion for another time. Complete rip up, got back above Monday's lows, and this is where the sign came that I should take SPY short again. So this is what happened, guys. Big rip up, right? There's no reason to take shorts here, not at all, right here on this candle. We bull flagged down. We did lose Monday's low again. So if you were looking to get bearish, this was a good spot to get bearish. If you missed that, obviously, look, they just completely cleaned everyone's clock. So they sucked in bulls here. They stopped out bears. They sucked in bears and they stopped out longs. Then they completely reversed it. That screwed all the bears, all the bulls. And then bulls started chasing these candles again. What they did was barely take out the top, basically a double top here. Like right here, basically a double top. They sucked in all the bulls when we took out this high here, reversed it right back down. And when we got back to the Monday lows here, I took some SPY puts for February 22nd, like I showed you guys, and they just completely paid right away. So I took them off around 295. I think it was a good gain. It was almost 50%. And right after I took them off, why did I take them off? There's too many people talking about death, like we might go to visit the lows, scared, whatever, blah, 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 bearish people. So I took them off there, and then I just watched the rest of the day. At the end of the day there, I jumped in AMD lottos for next week. Why did I do that? So just thinking, this has nothing to do with the chart, even though if you do go on the chart, we are still a little oversold on the 4 hours. You guys know how I feel about oversold on the 4 hours. You guys see right here, 4 hour, completely sideways on the RSI for about 4 bars, and then the 5th bar was a big spike, right? And stochastics were same thing under. Right here, 4 hours, completely flat. This was just stochastics, that's why I didn't play it back here. Back here as well. So 4 hours dumping, RSI got oversold, and then the next bar was a huge green candle, plus 3% on SPY. That's a big move. So going back in history, anytime 4 hour comes oversold, you want to be watching for bounces instead of adding puts. So we got RSI way down here as well, and look at the big rip that followed, right? So what I'm thinking in my mind, first of all, RSI on the 4 hours is way down here. Stochastics are way down here. Everyone's too scared of calls over the weekend. Everyone held their puts because everyone's bearish, obviously, with all this news coming out. If there's no war news, if there's no bad news over the weekend, I think a massive gap up is going to happen on Monday. What does that do? That screws the majority of people. The majority of people do not have calls going into Monday. They have puts. So all those shorts will get squeezed right on Monday morning. Everyone that was scared of longs, they'll chase Monday morning when we do gap up. If this plays out, if there's no news, no bad news about war, Monday morning gap up, all the longs will chase. I'll be selling my AMD. T will be selling his Jumia. This is just completely psychological. Think of how the most people get screwed. So that's what my thinking was in those AMD calls. I didn't go heavy. Obviously, it's too risky with the war. Even though I think I'm right, I'm not going to dump 50K in that play. You know what I mean? So I went a little light. But if it hits, if we gap up on Monday on SPY, just based on this 4-hour chart where it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars of RSI right near the lows. Stochastics curling down. Monday morning, a big gap up should fix all this oversold conditions. So that was my thinking on a little bit of calls right before close. Oh my god, don't lag now. Alright, so that was my thinking on calls. Other than that, let's go over QQQ. Completely weak, guys. We lost yesterday's lows right off the bat. That's a big red flag. We crushed puts. You guys know, everyone in MSL had a great day, I'm pretty sure. And on the daily of QQQ, just looks completely disgusting, guys. Like, all these charts are broken. You can pull up almost any chart. They're almost all broken. The only positive thing about QQQ is we're just range bound right now. So I would just say, like, we haven't broken down, we haven't broken up. I would say the range is right here around 341.51 to around here 341.51 to 363. That would be the range on QQQ if we, man, Kumar. And basically, if we stay in this range, we're due for a pop on Monday as well before going lower. I'm not bullish. Like, I'm not saying buy leaps or buy months out calls. I'm just saying short term, we might get a little bounce on Tuesday. Not Monday, Tuesday. So 4 hours, same thing on QQQ, guys. We're way down here. Stochastics way down here. We need to cool off a little bit before heading more low if we want to go lower. Of course, Ginger. And basically just looking for a little bounce on Monday. Just cool stuff off. It's the same thing as back here. Same play. RSI is down. Stochastics are down. And then when they tried to fix it, look at the bounce that we got, right? So I'm expecting a little tiny bounce. That's all I'm waiting for. Like, this bounce here came to 372. Then we went down, then the bounce got weaker, lower high. Then we went down, the bounce got weaker, lower high, right? That's all I'm watching for, guys. And you can even say this is a head and shoulders. I'm not going to draw the line, but you guys get it. I understand, Kumar. I understand. I got it. XLF, again, playing this double top, guys. Banks are short. We added WFC puts today. I really like that chart. I'll go over it in a bit. But complete double top on XLF. Last time we ran this far off the 8-day moving average, we dumped all the way to the 200. If we get that same move on XLF, the 200 days at 38.42, so another $1.40 down. And that's the move that I expect on XLF. Also, there's a big support here all the way from June. We only broke through it last time. If we go back down to the support, it's around 38.60-ish, so another $1-ish down. Let's see if we get that move on XLF. If we actually break this support, then it's game over. Then it's a far dump before we reverse. IWM, it wasn't the weakest today, which is surprising. Small caps kind of held up, but look at this. Before I even touch anything, we got the call wall at 207. We got the volatility trigger at 205, and the put wall is all the way down to 190. So if they want to crush IWM next week, bookie today was the entry. Unfortunately, on IWM, you see this little support that we were forming. Same thing on WFC is forming. It's a little head and shoulders pattern. Here, I'll show you for the newbies in here. I know there's a lot of free members that took advantage of today's free premium. But we have a little head and shoulders forming here on IWM, and we did break the neckline today. So on Monday, what will I watch for if I want IWM? I want to bounce up to this yellow line here. Around $201 on IWM. Draw that yellow line that I have drawn, guys. This one right here. It's a head and shoulders neckline. If we bounce back up to that yellow line, that's a good entry for puts. If we gap down, I would not chase them. Even though they could work, I don't like shorting in the hole, like you guys well know. I always tell you guys that. So around 201, around this area right here, I would love to short IWM if we get a little bounce on Monday. ES, nothing there. Already went over SPY. Vixx, again, strong, guys. This is a different type of Vixx. I told you guys usually Vixx is just spike during fear, comes down when the fear goes away. But right now we're actually constructive and bullish on Vixx, which is kind of scary. Not gonna lie. So we put in a low, lower high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and now do we go and put in a higher high, which would be above $39. If we get that, the market's gonna absolutely dump. And right now the VIX does look very strong, guys. So keep an eye on VIX over today's high. It might go and try this 39 now. Other than that, keep an eye on Bitcoin over the weekend. Bitcoin shows what the market is going to do a lot of the time. We do have a little inverse head and shoulders here. So we have the shoulder, the head, the right shoulder, but this is considered a fail now. Why do I say it's considered a fail? We had a clear neckline and a resistance at 44322. Completely rejected it yesterday. Today came way down. So now we're struggling around the 4,000. If we close today under 40,000, expect another test of 35. That's all I'm going to say about Bitcoin right now. It's a bearish. It tried to break out bullish, failed, and now we're bearish again on Bitcoin, at least till 35,000. Unless this daily candle reverses in the next 2.5 hours and closes above 40,500, Bitcoin looks bearish down to 35 grand again. Tesla completely demolished this morning. Even the market wasn't selling off this hard, but Tesla was one of the weaker ones. I told you guys yesterday, a very clear range on Tesla, 871 to 933. And if we close below it, then you can expect much lower. We close below it. I'm looking for a 200-day test now. 200 days at 829. So we should initially bounce off 829. We got very close to it today at 837. Monday gap down. If Tesla opens around 829, I'll probably take a shot on some calls just for a scalp. But 829 should give at least a little bounce the first time we test it. Let's see next week. 829, guys. Remember that number. AMD. Why did I take AMD and not something else? First of all, AMD had killer earnings on February 1st. They absolutely destroyed earnings. The day they closed, that candle was 116.76. We're trading lower than where they killed their earnings. So that's one point. Another point is the 200-day moving average is at 112.14. We went down, tested the 200-day, and closed above it today. So if everything plays out like I said, no really bad news over the weekend, I think we do gap up and screw all the bears and make longs chase. Other than that, we have to wait till Monday. We have to wait, watch the news, see if any news comes out. But I'm not too worried about this AMD. I do think we gap up. Apple's finally getting destroyed. Remember, guys, in market weakness, the weak stocks go down first. The strongest stocks, they go down last. So Apple, remember, we were holding well all the way into January. Like, I wouldn't even call this weakness. Like, this is just a normal dip. The weakness really started on January 13th, I would say. That's when we rolled over from a lower high. January 13th. If you guys look at other charts, even AMD, guys, like, I know AMD is a strong chart. See where it started rolling over. AMD started its weakness December 28th, guys. So first the other stocks go down. After that, the big boys start coming down. Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, they all start after the small stocks already started. Apple is flirting with a very important support here all the way from August of 2020. We have this huge range, right? We were holding on top of it. We held it last time we tested it on February 14th. We tested it and big bounce. Now we're testing it again. If we break back below, we can go all the way to the 200-day moving average on Apple. First would be 151. After that would be the bottom of this wedge here, which would put us around 147, 148. 151, 147, 148. If the market continues weak, Apple will reach those levels. AXP, this one. So I have mixed feelings about puts on this one. We did hit it on Friday. I sold most of it. I'm taking an L on the rest of it. But this one, this candle today, this candle here, this candle here, the last three candles make me want to short it. The only thing is we closed above the 8-day moving average again. So 198 is a very clear level of resistance. If we don't get above 198 on AXP on Monday, I do think it comes down. So I'm going to be looking for another short entry on AXP on Tuesday, And as soon as we close below the 8-day moving average, I'll probably load that position. March 18th puts is what I'm looking at. Probably 190, 185, somewhere around there. Amazon, best play for me today. I went the heaviest on this one. It was a very good setup. Bookie pointed it out to me in the morning. I didn't believe in the dump in the morning at first. I sold my NVIDIA calls from yesterday for a nice gain. I tried NVIDIA calls again today. They did not work at all. So I took that L. I watched the market for a bit, and I seen Amazon coming down to my levels here. So I followed Bookie into Amazon right about here. I grabbed $2,800 puts for next week at 750. We got the flush immediately, and I never looked back. I seen this bounce come. I said it's not going to get over 30.56. It never got over my level, came back down, tried again, came back down, and we were selling around 12, 13, whatever here. So great play. I was very heavy. I got a good move. I had a couple runners left that I sold at $8 from 750. So overall, just a completely green trade. Great trade for me. And the only reason I sold at 8 was just in case we seen another dip. So what did we do? We ripped up. We came up here. I re-added them here for like $6.90. They came down. I could have taken profits. I thought we were going to come right back down to low of day like we did on SPY at the end of the day there. We did not. So it poked out. As soon as it crossed back over my level 30.56, I cut them for a small loss. Still overall profitable on the trade from the first one. So cut them, and then I should have probably re-entered here, but I took SPY puts instead. I'm not too mad about that. Other than that, on the daily time frame on Amazon, this thing looks like it wants to get destroyed. Why do I say that? There's a huge gap from the day before earnings. There's a gap to fill all the way down to 28.85, which would mean if we lose the 30.12 level, is it 30.12? No. It would be 3,007. What is this? Yeah, 30.12 is a real level. If we lose 30.12, we can go all the way to 28.85 for the gap fill on Amazon before we go anywhere else. And if you look, we're just kind of range bound, but today we closed below the range. Every time we've closed above 3,056, even when we dipped below, we closed above, and then we just went sideways 3 days. And bearish engulfing kind of candle here. The body didn't get over, but it's still kind of bearish engulfing. And today we followed through. So let's see if we get followed through next week on Amazon. This is going to be a great short down to 28.85. WFC, we took these puts. This is absolutely the best setup I've seen today as far as entering puts today. Why did I take it? Look at this. Clear support, clear head and shoulders, and clear breakdown. So Monday or Tuesday if we get followed through on this one, I think WFC goes to at least 53.37. That would put us $2 in the money. Those puts will probably be a double or a triple, and we have lots of time on them. This beautiful setup, everything looks perfect to me. The daily's breaking down. You go to the 4 hour, might get a bounce and retest to this line, but look at the last 4 hour candle. When we broke, we came back up, retested that support, and then we continued. So that's the most bearish thing that I like about this. 2 hour chart, same thing. We bounced, retested, and look at the profit taking. So when you see this long wick above, that means sellers are holding this line. That means bears are jumping on the opportunity to jump in. That's their entry point on puts. So everything looks fine with WFC. I'm fine holding this one longer term. And we'll see what next week brings. Hopefully no war news over the weekend. We see that gap up on Monday. I'll add to my WFC puts, and I'll get rid of my AMD long. I hope you guys enjoyed MSL free on Friday. I hope you guys learned something, made some money. And if you're interested in joining, just message Ricky K. Have a good weekend, guys. See you Tuesday.